He's coming in, he starts crying because he's watching all these famous actors up there. And that's how I feel right now. I remember watching my first tech talk and I'd be like, man, one day I'm going to give a tech talk. So this one won't be as technical as other tech talks. We're going to explore a little bit more of the soft skills with regards to getting the interview, getting in the room, or in this case nowadays, getting in the virtual room. But I'm wondering real quick, have any of you ever wondered why actors are so neurotic? I mean, they're always in rehab and getting divorced and having trouble with the law. It's because they're always hunting. They're always hunting for jobs. And I'm curious, by just put it in the chat, or you can raise your hand on the Google Meet. How many of you have been job hunting for a few days or a few weeks, maybe even a few months? If you could put how long you've been hunting for a tech job in the chat now.
And just so everyone knows, the chat is in the top right corner.
Couple months, all right, all the time. Very cool. Few weeks, all right. Yeah, I just want you to know, I want this to be super 4 months, all right. Not looking, but about there. Very cool. I'm also curious, what has been the most frustrating thing about the process? You can throw that in the chat as well. Getting resumes rejected. All right. Learning the network on the social networks. I miss in person. Yeah, that's especially tough right now. I know for me, it was really, really frustrating to get to the interview. I just knew that if I could get them to see me, if I could get them to meet me, to talk to me, they would fall in love with me, they would hire me. So I put a great deal of thought into figuring out what gets people to call you or Skype you, or, pick your virtual meeting software here, which is where it brings me to the title of the talk. Be a laser beam, not a Broadway sign. Now, before I go into it, though, we're going to have a little fun. Like I said, I want this to be interactive. So I need everybody to get out their cell phones or go to your favorite browser, and we're going to go to kahoot.it. All right. We're going to do a little refresher.
I'll put the link in the chat as well.
All right. I got my job as a business analyst for a software team. I was a game show host. So here we go. The number one way to get a job is through a personal referral. True or false? All right, everybody's got true. Let's see who was the quick hand here. We got the E to the I to the, is that the Eric? Is that the Eric? Number 900 points off the stop on the podium. Let's go to the next question here. All right, what is an example of a professional email address? Is it codemasterpick at AOL, TimberlakeGal3223, Sarah.Andrews@gmail.com, or cleverpotato@me.me? What do you think? All right, everybody's got that one. Very cool. Very cool. Let's see if anything has changed. All right, Eric, hold on. We got D. Sloan. We got David. Flipper Deluxe is in the house. And Court. Okay, here we go. Next question. Which is not a programming language? Everybody. Ampersand. So Kotlin, I think that one is for Android. Swift, of course, is for Apple. And then you got the white space where it uses white space as a part of code. And ampersand is a symbol. All right, very cool. Let's see if anything has changed. Eric's holding strong. David, Flipper Deluxe. Court is on fire. And we got Case making it to the top. All right, here we go. Next question. Where are tech employers likely to go to see your coding projects? These are coming in fast right here. All right, cool. Those came in real quick. All right, Court, it's going up the ranks. All right, let's keep it going. FizzBuzz is an example of is it a coding language? Is it an agile ritual? Is it a data structure nickname? Is it a technical challenge? All right, answers are coming in. They're coming in. Oh, that one was across the board. All right, I got some people up. Definitely want to look up FizzBuzz. I've had that come up in a technical interview. If you know that off the top of your head, you're going to look like a genius. It's really cool. So, yeah, look that up. All right, who do we got here? Eric's holding strong. Court's right behind. David, Flipper, D. Sloan. All right, y'all not playing. They came to win. All right, here we go. Next question. Great professional references are... Is it a Tech Academy instructor? Perhaps a coworker? Maybe a former supervisor? Or is it good old mom and dad? All right. Everybody's right. I just wanted to make sure you knew the parents, not the parents. Okay, very cool. Anything change? Oh, James K got up in the mix. All right, very cool. 7 of 11. Let's keep this going. What percentage of the computing workforce were women in 2019, according to the Department of Labor Bureau? What percentage of the computing workforce were women in 2019? All right, that one's kind of split across the board. 26%. 6 of you got that. Yes, it's 26%. But that's why I'm so happy to be a part, be an alumni at Tech Academy. I know we're playing our part to help make sure that isn't changed, because the professional work environment, I think, is something 57% are women. So hopefully we can get that more balanced in the near future. We got Rickster coming up. Eric, Court, and David are holding strong. All right, let's keep this thing going. It's coming down to the wire. Let's see if we remember. FizzBuzz is an example of... It's a little bit faster this time. Technical challenge. Oh, still got some people with that one. All right, yes, it's a technical interview challenge. FizzBuzz, look that up. All right, okay, James K coming up strong. Eric holding strong, on fire. Court, David, and the Rickster. Oh yeah, brother. When do you know you have the job, people? Is it the 4th interview? Is it when the recruiter texts a thumbs up? Do you get an offer letter? Will they say they like you? All right, yes, it is the offer letter. Don't quit applying until you get the offer letter. I cried when I got mine. I sent a picture. Didn't I send a picture to you, Forrest? I was fired up, dude. All right, I'm so excited for everybody to get that offer letter. All right, James K coming up. Rickster, David, Court, Eric is holding on. Got a vice grip on the lead. All right, next question. What are the most common elements of an offer letter? We're going to get a little deeper on that offer letter. Is it direct deposit form, vacation details, maybe a negotiation clause? Perhaps it has a department name, desk location, or is there a job title, compensation, and at-will statement? What do you think are the most common elements in offer letters? Most of you got that. All right. A lot of people I think y'all were looking at that benefits package. They say, I want to negotiate it. No, that's what y'all were thinking. But yeah, as far as common elements, the at-will statement is definitely a big part of that. Okay, here we go. I think nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. Eric, Court, David, James K, Rickster. Good stuff. All right. We're at the finish line here first. What are some useful resources to assist you with your career development? Is it LinkedIn? Is it other Tech Academy grads? Is it job placement director? Or perhaps it's all of the above. All right, I'm sorry. For the one who did pick LinkedIn, you're technically right. So I'll give you some love on that. All right, here we go. That is our cultivated careers queries. We got David coming in for a round of applause for David. Eric at the last second was supplanted by Court. Oh, the upset. No. Court comes in at the last second. 3 seconds on the clock. We're going to start calling you MJ, Court. Congratulations. Court, you know what you just won? You just won a personal recommendation from me to the organization that I work at right now. I will get that to Forrest. You will get a link, and the link will be for you to be able to apply for a position at our fine company. And hopefully you can join the team. Congratulations, Court. Also to our runner-ups. Thank you so much for playing. I hope that was fun, everybody. Give yourselves a round of applause. Very, very cool. All right, we're going to leave that there. Now, pay attention because we're going to do one more before this night is over to see if you were listening to me. Okay. Am I back on? Are we back on screen? I'm not sharing anymore, right? Are we good?
You're good.
Yep.
Excellent. Okay. Thanks for coming back for us. So
yeah, sorry about that.
So be a laser beam, not a Broadway sign. So I come from theater, if you hadn't noticed already. And when I was in college, I had a professor who said, Edmund, you're like a Broadway sign. I need you to be a laser beam. I need you to be more dangerous, more sexy. And what that means in the context of job hunting is we don't want to just dissipate your energy all out into the ether and you don't get any love back. You don't get any interviews. That's basically what we're going to talk about tonight. So what can we do that will cause you to stand out and become a laser beam? So here are the key talking points for the night. I don't know if you're taking notes or anything, but number one is define where we want to go. Define where we want to go. Number two, remember where we've been. Remember where we've been. Number three, this one is probably my favorite. Stalk for fun and profit. Learning how to stalk for fun and profit. And number four is sweet talk, don't me talk. Sweet talk, don't me talk. All right, let's dig a little deeper here. Define where we want to go. So one of my favorite questions when going through the job placement course at the Tech Academy was, where do you want to be 5 years from now? So when I first got into the programming rabbit hole, I basically got enticed by the data sciences. So I saw this economist. He was from a fintech company out of Europe. And he gave this fantastic presentation about Brexit, and he had the charts, and he had this and that, and he was on stage. And I was like, that's it. That's like the perfect marriage of me having this tech side. I love technology. I was actually a dual major in engineering and theater, but also getting in front of people and presenting. I want to do that. And then I found out data scientists need to know coding. They need to know programming. And the famous language for working in data science is Python. And so I looked around, I looked around and searched, and Tech Academy had a Python course. It's like, yes, this is it. I'm in. And Lexi, I don't know if she's here. Big shout out to her. She was there with me through the whole, from the beginning of last year to now. Hopefully we'll have some time. You can ask me more details about my experience with that. But right now we're trying to get you the interview. So where do you want to be 5 years from now? What do you want to create? So I knew I wanted to be an analyst. I wanted to be a data scientist. I wanted to have that in my mind. So that'll come back into play when we look at where we are now. What do you want to create? Do you want to create web pages? Do you want to create web applications? Do you want to be a designer? I know we were kind of thinking of that when you chose the course that you want, but now that we're in the point where we're looking, we want to focus that even more. We're like, what do you want to build? What I found, like when I was in interviews, especially for front-end development, there was a lot for React, a lot for Angular, a lot for view. And so if you realize that what you want to build or the jobs that you're attracted to have those technologies, then let's start building something in that and focusing on those companies. And the reason why we want to know what we're focusing on, we'll come back to that later, is because we're going to get real specific with our resumes and we're going to get real specific with our cover letters. So put a pin in that. We're going to come back to that. All right. Now on to our second point. Remember where we've been. Now, I know a lot of you, the reason why you came to the Tech Academy is you like, I hate what I was doing, or I was unfulfilled, or I was bored out of my mind, or it could be simply I lost my job, or it could be I just don't make enough money. And I know the tech industry has tremendous promise. So that is all great. That's wonderful. But don't forget where you came from. Some of my most of my interviews came from domains that I had previous experience in. I'll give you a great example. I was in my fifth interview for this agency in Forest. I mean, we were really excited about this, were we not?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, we thought this was it, was it not? I mean, we were in the fifth interview, right?
5 in, you gotta be.
That's
Just
gotta be it. I think the last one, it was like an interview to see if I was a culture fit, something like that. But there was not what? What did we not have, Forrest? We didn't get that offer letter. Back to that. So remember, so stay on the grind, stay on the ground. But anyway, this company was an agency. I come from, I was doing game shows, but it was automotive experiential marketing. So we were doing things at auto shows all around the country. And I actually knew this agency. They were one of our competitors. And I admired their work. They did some really cool things with their software. And so my knowledge, being in marketing, being in automotive, made me an attractive person to them. That was one of the reasons why they said they had called me in for that interview. So were you in retail? Okay, can we start looking at jobs that have a retail domain knowledge that's important? Were you an automotive? Were you a car salesman? Maybe we can start. I was amazed at how many websites, how many developer jobs there were, specifically front-end developer jobs for automotive groups. You know, these are usually those dealerships that are huge, where they have multiple cars that they sell, multiple brands of cars, that is, and they're looking to expand their business through the website. So whatever it is, that domain knowledge that you have, whatever it is you used to do before you came to the Tech Academy, don't throw that all away completely. That may be your gateway into your next gig. All right, now to my favorite part. We're talking about stalking for fun and profit. So we've defined what we want to do. We remember where we've been, but now we want to really get in on the research element of it. So before you send out that resume, I got a couple of things that I would like for you to explore. Number one, LinkedIn is your best friend. Before I apply for a job, I immediately try to connect with someone who works for that company doing the position that I would like to do. Now, before you go out and say, hey, my name is blah, 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 blah. I see you're doing what I want to do. Can we be friends? Hold on. Everything that I'm going to be presenting to you from now on, I'm actually going to be adding work to your plate. It's going to suck. It's not going to be not what you want to hear, because there is a lot that you already had to do. If you've already gone through the job placement course, it's a lot. It's a lot that you have to do, but I promise you, if you do these, you go these extra steps, you go the extra mile, I'm hoping that you can see results and getting more interviews and getting more people interested in you because you're interested in them. So going back to LinkedIn, what I would do is I would find that individual who I'm interested in, right? Who is doing the job that I want to do at the company that I'm about to apply to. And then I find out what they're interested in. And usually they have a section where you can go down and you can click on the things they're interested in. I start clicking on some of the things they're interested in. Then you see the things that they post on LinkedIn. Go to those. Start making comments. Start saying, wow, that's really amazing. Or if they made a really cool piece of software and they post it up online for people to see, comment on it, like it, share it with other people. And what you'll notice is they're like, wow, who is this person that's taking this interest in me? And what you're doing is you're giving value to them first. You're saying, I'm interested in you. And that's one thing that we really want to express, because I know it's so tough when you're not working and you're looking for a job to be focused on yourself. But between the employers and between all the people that you're trying to reach out to in a network, you want to be adding value to them. You want to be trying to improve their lives or their situation. And, sometimes I may put in a LinkedIn, hi, my name's Eddy. I'm just interested in what you're doing. If there's anything I can do to help you with what you're doing, let me know. And sometimes just being willing to offer help to someone, they're all of a sudden interested in you. It's like, who is this person? And now I have a new connection. So that's a really great way. And then on LinkedIn, you can, I also subscribe to the premium version of LinkedIn as well. And what's really cool about that is if there's a job posting, it'll tell you based on your credentials and your resume, if you're in the top 10% for applying for that job. And it also allows you to do what's called an in-mail message. So let's say there's a recruiter for a company that you're super interested in, you think you're absolutely perfect for it. You can send an in-mail message to them when you have premium LinkedIn. Now it costs something like $30 a month. So it can be a little pricey, especially if, you've been out of work for a minute. But I only used it for month and a half, because we graduated in August. And we had the offer letter by October. So it was an investment that I think was worth it. Anything you want to add on that for us?
Yeah, you can do a month free actually with LinkedIn Premium. So if you only need it for a month or so, go for the month free. It will, auto charge you after that first month. So be aware of that. But I say everybody should give it a shot when they're like fully dedicated to their search.
Absolutely. It's just a tremendous resource, and it gives you so much data. Next thing we got is YouTube. So find that company that you've identified the job, you've identified what you do, go to YouTube. I watched everything on the company that I'm with now. They had a YouTube channel. I watched everything about that company. And what ends up happening usually when you do that is you start falling in love with the company, which is exactly what you want to do. Now, this is where it gets tough, because now you're putting yourself out on the line, you're getting attached to something. So while that's great while you're in the interview process, if you don't get it, it's going to hurt that much more. So this is one of those risk reward things where you really kind of dig in and really embrace what the company is and what they stand for, and then hope that translates when you do get an interview, that you are passionate about that dude. You're paying attention to what they're doing. You're not just trying to get a job, you're trying to become a part of what they're building. Go to their website, do all the research on their website as well. What I love to do is I go directly to their culture version, the culture portion of their website, their mission statement. What do they stand for? Do they have what we call at our company, we call them pillars. So these are the 6 things that we stand by. This is what we stand by. Like one of our pillars is, I'm a thumb pointer, not a finger pointer. And so the idea is, if something goes wrong, hey, that's on me. But also at the same time, if something's going to happen or if something's going to change, that's on me too. I'm not going to wait for somebody else to do it. I'm going to take advantage of it. And so being able to express that when I was in the interview, like, hey, man, that thumb pointer, that is me all day. I like that. I really like that. And so that helps you to stand apart from the people who are just looking for a job. What you're saying is, I'm already bought in. I don't even got the job yet. You can start visualizing me there. And that's one of the things you want to do in the process. So why are we collecting all this research? Well, what that is it's all going to eventually amalgamate into our next thing, which is sweet talk, not me talk. How many of you put it in the chat, yes or no, or put it in the chat, or your experience, ever been on a date where the person talked about themselves the entire time? Let's see. Can you read some of those off for me, Forrest?
Oh yeah, I mean Eric's been there. Drew, yes. Eric Hawk done that. Oh, Eric's done that is what he was saying.
That's great.
That's
Same thing goes for these companies. so many times when you send out cover letters, and I've been studying cover letters, and we're going to have as a resource for you, I'm going to make sure I get this to Forrest this weekend, snippets of my resumes, of my cover letters that I've written over the time. The idea of the cover letter is you don't want to be the person who's talking about themselves. You want to be interested in them. So you're talking about, okay, this is what I have to offer you. This is how I'm going to solve your problem. Of course, you're going to solve my problem if you give me a job because I need a job. But I'm thinking about how can I solve your problem. So we'll get in a little more into detail about the cover letters. But first, I want to talk about the resume. So we've done our research. We know about the company. We've gone on YouTube. We've gone to their website. We know about their culture. We've even chatted up with some of the people who already work there on LinkedIn. Now you get an idea of who this company is, what this company stands for, and maybe you're even starting to see how you can make a contribution there. Even beyond your technical abilities that you got from Tech Academy. So that's when we're looking at our resume. Now I have two versions of my resume, and I'm going to share my screen right now so I can show you. So I have what I like to call the pretty version, and what I like to call the ATS version. So right here, this is the ATS. Can anybody put in chat, what does ATS stand for when it comes to resumes? Does anybody know what that means? And Forrest, if you see it, can you read off some of the answers for me, please?
Yeah, Casey jumped in with application tracking system.
Boom, who was that?
That's Casey Fairbanks.
Casey, you got it. Application tracking system. And essentially what it is it's a piece of software that reads your application and matches it up against the job description and tries to see if you're a match. So that one is my my ATS. Here it is. Here's the other one right here. And this one is for Humanize. So I actually, I have a UI, UX kind of background too. I was a designer. I used to be an illustrator once upon a time. And so I wanted to create, I also had a resume that's for people. So the way I like to approach it is if I'm applying through like a Glassdoor or, one of those job sites, I use my ATS resume. But if I know I'm getting it to a person who's going to look at it, I'll use this resume right here. So, having your skills here and have your summary. Now, going back to being a laser beam, not a Broadway sign. A lot of times what people do with their resumes is they spray and pray. They just throw them out there to a whole bunch of companies and pray that somebody's going to look at it. And what ends up happening is you don't look like a right fit. Every time. And Forrest, what was the longest I ever went for? I think we talked about this, for a resume, preparing a resume.
How long it took you to prepare it, or how long it took you to
prepare one? For one, there was one application where it just, between me doing the research, doing the resume, and actually filling out the application, how many hours? You remember that one?
It was at least a day or a couple of days.
It was like a day or so, right? So this is where I'm saying I'm adding work to your plate. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at that job description, and now, you may know JavaScript, you may know C#, you may know a little bit of Python, but the job description is only interested in C#. So hey, that's what we're going to focus on. You may know MongoDB, and you may know SQL, and you may know, but they are more interested in, can you work in I don't know. The point is you want to look at the job description and you want to match it as much as possible to the skills that you do have. Obviously, we don't want to lie about it. We don't want to put anything that's not true on there. But between the applicant tracking system, what you're doing is we're extracting words. So for example, let's say I can read you, let's see, I can read you what it said for the job that I actually applied for. Negotiation skills, mortgage and financial experience with databases, SQL, and working in an agile environment, self-motivated with a strong ethic. Well, in the objective of that resume, I actually wrote hardworking, self-motivated, creative professional with experience in the mortgage and financial services industry, a former product specialist possessing excellent written and verbal communication skills. So it's one of those, it's an art. It's a real art to creating a resume that fits the job description, but at the same time doesn't look like you took the job description and cut and paste it and put it inside of your resume. And so the reason, going back to the first tenet that I was talking about of why we want to define what we're doing, once you've kind of narrowed down the jobs that you're looking for, now you don't have to cater your resume as much. You can just do little tweaks here and there to make sure it matches the job description. But I actually, for the one designed resume that I have, I had one of the interviewees for an advertising agency. She said, "This is a pretty resume. That's the reason why I'm calling you today." It was really something as superficial as that. And and if you use a picture, smile in the picture. They want to know that you're going to be fun to work with. You're going to be inviting. That was another thing that they pointed out, is that smile in your picture. You're not so serious. You don't look like you're going to be hard to work with. So we're gonna cater it to them. We're catering it to the ATS. We're also catering it to the person that we're looking at. Cover letters that work. All right. So this is one of my favorite things, and I am so excited to share these with you. So I had one gentleman, he wrote me, and he asked me these questions, and he said, what is your level of skill rated on 1 to 10? And this was the cover letter I wrote back. And Forrest, you might laugh, you may remember this one.
Oh, I do.
I was nervous, but this is what I wrote. I said, "Here's the deal. I'm a recent graduate from a coding boot camp. I started coding in my spare time 2 years ago. I was drawn to Python because I dig data science. I'm in my late 30s, so I'm not some kid who's going to waste your time or money. I know how to make apps and websites beautiful. I used to design greeting cards. My whole family are military folks. I'm looking for an opportunity. Correct that. I'm looking to make an impact. I promise you that I am diligent and above all loyal. The only reason I'm not with my previous employer is because of this COVID experience. Give me a call. Better yet, let's set up a Zoom meeting and check me out for yourself. I may not be exactly what you want for the moment, but I will be what you need." Honest to goodness, after I had sent out that cover letter, the dude called me 15 minutes later. Now, what ended up happening was he called me. We did a quick tech interview, and I was not what he was looking for. And it was really depressing. I called Forrest with my tail tucked between my legs. Man, it was awful. It was so embarrassing. I was telling him, he was like, "What have you done?" I said, "Oh, I did this. I made a calculator in JavaScript, blah, blah, blah." He's like, "Oh, that's pretty elementary." I was like, "Oh, man," it was painful. But there's another lesson in that too. I had another interview right after that one, and I almost didn't go to my second interview because I was so depressed. I called Forrest. Forrest, you remember that call?
I remember them all. Oh yeah, it was very upsetting.
Lean on your job director. Lean on them. They're cheerleaders. Forrest, oh my gosh, I can't imagine going through this process without them. So I made that call. I decided to go through with my second interview, and that turned out to be the very interview that turned into the fifth interview. Mm-hmm. So even though if you've got something that really bad happens, you just got to collect yourself, dust yourself off, and keep going. So because I had 2 interviews in that one day, so that was really interesting. So what we really want to go after are cover letters that are going to stand out. I know one time I was doing research for one company, and they had a website. They had a podcast, and I talked about how the theme song of the podcast was absolutely hilarious, and they wrote me back. So they want to know that you're interested in the company. They want to know that you're already bought in and that you've done your research. You can really show that you've done your research by and adding some flavor to your cover letter. Another thing that you want with your cover letter is you want your cover letter to give you permission to follow up. Follow up. Follow up. That is the number one tactic in getting interviews. The number one thing in getting interviews. Pick up the phone and call somebody. As soon as you send your catered resume with your catered cover letter full of beautiful information that came from all of your research from stalking people on LinkedIn, you're going to give them a call and say, hey, I sent you a resume and a cover letter. What are the next actions? When can we set up an interview? I'm really excited. I really love the company. I love what you're doing. When can we talk? It is uncomfortable. It is scary. But one thing that I added to my cover letter, which really allowed me to not feel guilty or not feel weird about calling and following up, was I would put things in it like, thank you so much for your consideration. I will be giving you a call next Tuesday at 5 p.m. I put that directly in my cover letter, because what that does is that gives you permission now to follow up and say, hey, even if they don't get your cover letter, even if they didn't read it, now all of a sudden you have their attention. And oftentimes what will happen is I'll call and say, hey, I sent my cover letter, said I'll call today at 5. They'll say, I never got it. Why don't you send it to my personal email? Now that alone is like worth its weight in gold. And that, if you can just get that through your in your bones as to why you should call and why you should follow up. There have been so many times where, because of that applicant tracking system or because of whatever it is, your resume and your cover letter never even got to the person who can get you the interview. And so by calling in, now all of a sudden you're getting it to an actual person. It's not being put in the circular file cabinet by some piece of software. And that little strategy alone is really great. Hey, I sent my resume and cover letter, said I was going to call you back. Another great thing about doing the research and with cover letters, excuse me, is I put in there, if you think I would be a good fit for this position or any other position, please feel free to give me a call. That little line in there, or any other position, because now instead of them just pigeonholing you into the front end developer, maybe, hey, oh yeah, come to think of it, we do need a QA tester. Oh yeah, come to think of it, we do need somebody who knows a little bit about back end. Oh yeah, because they're looking at so many resumes and so many people at one time. So when they see your resume and it comes in, they're kind of thinking, okay, does this person fit this role? As opposed, when you put that into the cover letter or any other position, now they're thinking, does this person fit any role in our company? That's part of the reason why I was able to get the position that I have. Though I'm not a software developer right now, I did know about their business analyst position. So we're in an agile environment. Our business analysts, we got 1 foot in the business side, one foot in the software development side. And so the recruiter, he was super excited about me taking on that position, because obviously I knew about the software. And big ups to Eric for focusing so much on the computer, knowing the computer basics and the computer theory, because that was a big reason why they thought I would be a good fit for this job, because I knew about, the software development life cycle at large. I knew about, how things work in general, because now I'm looking at networks. I'm looking at systems. I'm looking at how the big networking systems, work with the big business systems, and how I can translate things between the operation side and the software development side. And what's really cool too is they have a software boot camp within our company. And so I can still pursue that there. But anyway, I am getting off track here. We're getting focused in on the cover letter. So you want to make sure that you give yourself permission in your cover letter to follow up, to give them a call, to talk to them, and make sure you have enthusiasm. Make sure you're excited, because that stuff is contagious. And when they hear it in your voice, they're like, this person wants to be here. And if you don't get anything else out of this talk, it's follow up, follow up, follow up. All right. I got one more game show for you. Y'all guys ready for another game show?
Let's do it.
All right. We're going to do one more just to see what we got out of the talk here. All right. Let's see if some of you folks can redeem yourself. All right. Can you see that, everybody?
No, you're not sharing quite yet.
Oh, we're not sharing quite yet. All right. We're going to present. Where is it at? There it is, right there. I'm going to share that. All right. This one is the laser beam challenge. Do you have what it takes to be the laser beam? Okay. E to the R to the I to the K. It's back in. James K. Joey's back in. Rickster. Eddy fan. Fantastic. Marlene. Bones. Flipper clean. Drizzy. M to the Y. So Drizzy. Indeed. All right. A couple more seconds. Anybody else out there? How many people we got here? We got David. Melwi. All right. We got 14 here. I think that's mostly ever. All right, let's get this party started here. The laser aptitude assessment. All right, true or false? Spray and pray is the best way to submit resumes. Oh, people get it now. It's like it's speed. The speed is real now. All right, here we go. Who's at the top? Case. Who's Case? Case came in. Uh-oh. All right, here we go. The next question. What is ATS? Is it an applicant tracking system? Authentic technical survey? Yes. Everybody remember that? KC, I believe KC gave us an answer there. Very cool. And remember, with that applicant tracking system, we want to try to cater our resumes to the job description, so our wonderfully hard-fought resumes don't get thrown into the abyss. All right, how's it going? James K. We got Drizzy, M to the Y. Harry's in the house. Flipper King. Case. That's all right, Case. You're still in the mix. All right, next question. True or false? Cover letters should be concise and specific. But of course, my friends. Yes. And big emphasis on that specific. I try to keep my cover letters to four paragraphs, 2 sentences per paragraph. But again, you want to ask for permission to follow up in your cover letter. Very cool. Eric's back with a vengeance. Drizzy, big baby. Eddy fan. I love you, Eddy fan. Flipper King. Excellent. All right, let's keep this thing going. True or false? Solve their problems, not yours. True or false? That's right. Solve their problems. So even in that cover letter, it's like, this is what I have to offer you. I'm going to solve your problem. You know that front end issue that you got? I'm solving that for you. You ain't got to look no more. Your problem is solved. Very cool. Everybody got that. Love it. All right. It's getting down to the wire here. Drizzy, Eric, James, Eddy, and the Flipper King are all in the mix. All right, here we go. Next question. A great practice for gaining connections on LinkedIn is to comment on someone's post, send a useful article, find mutual connections, or all of the above. All right. For the comment on someone's post, because I did make a big deal about that, but it is, yes, all of the above. All of those things are great. So I apologize if you're technically right. Okay, so I'm gonna give you some bonus points for that, whoever you are. All right, here we go. How's it going? James K, you searched Drizzy. Oh, I'm sorry, Drizzy. Did I trip you up on that one, Drizzy? I'm sorry. My bad, Drizzy. I feel bad now. James K, good job. Flipper King's doing it. Court. Uh-oh. Court coming back. Ooh. Before you send that resume, you should read the company's website. Cater it to the job posting. Explore company videos on YouTube. Find current employees on LinkedIn. Let's see, which one are you going to pick? Y'all all right. You're welcome, America. That's one for everybody. Yes, you're all right. You want to read that company's website. You want to explore company videos. Cater it to the job posting. Find current employees at LinkedIn. Become their friends, because you know what? You're going to be working with them in a couple weeks anyway. You might as well get to know them. All right. Very good. How are our standings? Oh, Drizzy's back. You can't hold Drizzy down, America. You can't hold Drizzy down. All right. Flipper King is on fire, though. Eric's still in the mix. Marlene, James K has taken the throne for now. Okay, here we go. 7-9. Next question. According to Eddy with a Y, what is the #1 practice to get in an interview? Send 4 resumes instead of 1? Make a pretty cover letter? Post on TikTok often? Or is it follow up? Yes, follow up. Get on the phone. Don't be shy. Call these people. If they are, obviously with COVID, you can't show up at the door anymore. So this is the best way you can show up at the door. Yeah, call. Don't be scared. You might get your job. All right. Oh, Eric's back. Okay, Eric's going to try to reclaim what was lost. All right, James K's up there. Flipper King, Marlene. Harry's in the mix. Where did Harry come from? I see you, Harry. All right, I see you. Next question here. Don't be lazy. Research, reach out, and repeat what's not working. React nervously. Send the same resume to everybody. Rewrite your resume. That one was quick. I was just seeing if you're wrong. Yeah. Rewrite that resume. All right, Flipper King goes to the top. Last one, true or false? You are a laser beam, and you will work in the tech industry. That's right. You're at the Tech Academy. Everybody knows it. I believe in you. You got to believe in you. Oh man, I remember listening to Eric's Tech Talk. Oh man, that got me fired up. I like put on Warplane. I had a blue face. I was like in Braveheart. I was like, I want to get this job. So I want to leave you with that. Laser aptitude assessment podium. Let's see here. Who we got in third place? James K. Clap it up. Second place, we got Bones. Came out of nowhere. Very good, Bones. And for 7,688 points, Flipper King. Flipper King takes it. Runner up. Eric was still in the mix. Marlene was in the mix. Flipper King. Guess what you get? You get a referral from Eddy with a Y. All right. I hope you had a lot of fun with that, everybody. Thank you so much for playing along. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Now, I'm going to put it back over to the main man, Forrest. My hero, my therapist, my cheerleader. All of the above. And let's open up questions. Hopefully we can get into the weeds a little bit with y'all so we can talk a little more about strategy. I tried to kind of give you an overview of what we did, but there's still a lot of nuance into this that works with getting people's attention. So yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Hey, that was awesome. Thank you so much. That was the most energy I've seen at a Tech Talk in a while. So it was needed right now. Yeah, so we're gonna open it up to questions. Anybody has any questions about anything about job search? Yeah, let's go ahead and take it away, Grant.
Yeah, I guess one of my question is, do you recommend, like, if we submit a resume to a place and we get rejected, and that's like a place that I really would want to work for, would you recommend resubmitting the resume again, and trying, or should it just be submitted once, get rejected, and then find another place?
That is a fantastic question. And so again, I come from an acting background, and so I'm always auditioning, always trying to find my next gig, and you get rejected a lot. There was one particular instance where I got rejected. You remember this, Forrest? I sent that cover letter or any other position, and they wrote me back the nicest rejection letter ever.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
You remember that one?
Oh,
yes. It's just like, wow, we really love you, your energy. You just don't have, I think they were a Drupal company, and I didn't have any Drupal experience. So they're like, as soon as you get some Drupal experience, let me know. And I wrote them back immediately, and I said, hey, I know, I think you like me. I think, I'm a good person here. Is there anything else I might be a good fit for? And they were just like, all right. And then after that, it was kind of like pump your brakes. We're just really looking for somebody with the Drupal background. So if you really dig the company, find out what they use to build. So if they use React, I would go back to the drawing board and I would build something in React, and I would put it up on GitHub. And then I would go back to them and say, hey, look, I know this is the technology that you work in. I built something with it. I can do this. Just give me an audition. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily take no as an answer if you really dig the place and you believe you could be a good fit for it. Yeah, you just you want to be tactful with it. But if you're coming back with value, you're saying, hey, I know you building this. I built something just for you, and you bring that to the table. I don't see why not. You can't go back to them and say and reapply again. Does that make sense? Does that help?
Kind of follow up on that. We had a tech talk a couple weeks ago. Justin Perry, a graduate of ours that had landed a job, he talked about a coding assessment that he did that he bombed horribly his first try. Totally bombed it. He immediately reached out to the company afterwards and said, hey, I bombed this. This is a poor representation of how my skills, like, can I have another shot at this? Would you be able to like arrange a way to get another shot? He got another interview the next day with the same company because he reached out to him right away. He didn't end up getting that job, but he still got that extra interview because he put in that extra effort, and he showed how much like he really wanted this position and how much he cared about this company. So
awesome. That's a great story. And remember, every interview is just getting you prepared for the interview that's going to be your job, your next career. So even if it doesn't pan out, you're going to be better at interviewing now, just because you've gone through another one. And that's what we want. We want to get you through, get you in the room.
Precisely.
Great question.
All right, who else has got a question for Eddy? Let's see. I got Michael down there at the bottom. Go for it, Michael. Oh, and you are on mute at the moment, Michael. Perfect. Oh, still can't quite hear you. I'm not sure if there's a mic.
Can you put it in the chat?
Type it in the chat. We did. Let's see. Yeah, let's go for it.
Hello, Marlene.
Sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Hey.
Hi, Edmund. Thanks so much for your talk today. So I'm still in the middle of my studies, but it seems like there's an element of presentation to this job, which I'm not quite prepared for. And I'm wondering if you have any suggestions of how to get more comfortable with public speaking.
Excellent. So once upon a time, I would say join Toastmasters, but obviously COVID has put that on the brakes. Now, when you say with this job, are you talking about like getting people's attention, getting interviews? Can you clarify what you mean by that?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So in the interview as well, I think especially since they have like developer challenges and also as a data scientist, you're presenting all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's where I have trouble getting comfortable and sort of speaking in public.
Excellent question. Okay, so for me, the biggest thing is preparation. Is I actually did this talk last night and the night before in front of my camera, over and over and over and over again. I'm naturally, as crazy as it may seem, I'm naturally an introverted person. I've learned how to be an extrovert out of sheer survival. um, so what I would say is get in front of your camera. And the reason why I have a whiteboard right here is I would actually do whiteboarding challenges in front of my camera and watch myself do a whiteboarding challenge and see where I started sweating and see where I got nervous and see where I started stumbling on words. So just like you can rehearse a play, just like you can rehearse a song. I don't know, do you play instruments at all, or were you an athlete, Marlene?
Oh yeah, I play guitar.
You play guitar. Perfect. How do you get good at the guitar?
Practice.
Yeah, just do it over and over again. And then eventually start doing things like, doing an interview with your job director, getting some of your colleagues that are in the Tech Academy with you and having them, getting in front of them and presenting. But once we get this vaccine and everything, relatively back to normal, I would highly recommend Toastmasters. They're a fantastic organization. They're really great. The idea is repetition. They get you in front of people over and over and over again until it just becomes second nature.
Gotcha. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Looks like Michael was able to get a message in the chat there. He asks, I've heard that people say that they do not want to pester a company. Can you ask so much that they are actually irritated by you?
Yeah, so that one example where I got the really nice rejection letter and I was like, hey, they obviously like me. I went back in one more time. The next email was not as nice. So it was just, it's a risk reward thing. One of my favorite quotes is a football coach. His name is Bruce Arians. No risk it, no biscuit. And so sometimes you just got to put yourself out a little bit. My current job that I have now, the recruiter, his name was Austin Felt. He got sick of me. I called him every Tuesday at the same time. Hey, man, hadn't heard back from you. Hey, man, hadn't heard back from me. Hey, I know we were supposed to do another interview. When do we think that will happen? And what you really have to, the way I justify it is they are very busy and sometimes they will forget about you. But can you find a way to be memorable in a good way? Oh, I'll give you another great example. This was bad. So they had the tech director and the lead front-end developer for an interview. I missed the interview, missed it completely. And what it turns out was my name is spelled A-L-Y-N, my middle name. She spelled my name A-L-A-N. Anyway, long story short, she spelled my name wrong. The email never got to me. I drove up to that office and took them plants and apology cards in person. I took it up to their office and then they sent it to them at their homes because this was like during COVID time. So if there are other creative ways that you can follow up like that, that may be useful too, because it says I'm a good person. I care about you as another human being. So yeah, you can, if you're sending 5 emails every day, yeah, that's annoying. I try to keep it to a week. I never try to reconnect with someone more than once a week. So that was where I draw the line, is I tried to not do it more than once a week. Does that help, Michael?
I've heard that sending physical. I've got a friend who sends physical thank you cards after every interview.
Yeah,
and she gets jobs because of that. She got her current job. A really heartfelt thank you card.
I keep thank you cards in my glove box. So even when I went to, and obviously we don't do that as much now, but I did go into one on-site interview, and I could give thank you cards to the security guards.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the kind of, because they talk to them. They say, hey, how did this person treat you? They talk. Everybody talks. So you're always on. That's what we in the theater world we call that. You're always on. You're always auditioning. You never know when you're being watched. But yeah. So, but as far as following up, yeah, email. Don't let a month pass and they not hear from you though. That's too long. Then they're gonna forget about you.
Courtney, did you have a question? I see that you have got the little handprint there.
Yes, actually two things. First, I wanted to just say thank you, Edmund. It's nice to see you again because we got to work together on our C# Live project, and he was so enthusiastic then, and the energy never changed. So thank you. I love your stories because it's really like the stories. I feel like it's the stories that make it memorable. So it's like when you have these good stories to tell, that's another way of keeping yourself or getting yourself to be more memorable. Yeah. So, and then I just wanted to kind of, as an invitation, Marlene, I know you had mentioned something about public speaking, but just putting this out there, I've started an algorithm study group that may help with your interviewing presentation skills. I myself am not very versed. I'm learning, so feel free to learn with us.
Awesome.
If you'd like.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can reach out to Job Placement and I can connect you with Courtney. If anybody's interested in the algorithm group, reach out to me at Job Placement and I'll happily introduce you to Courtney.
All right.
All right. We went a little over time. I apologize. I appreciate everybody, coming today. Round of applause for Eddy. He was fantastic. Really an excellent speaker. Eddy, we'd love to have you back again in the future. You've got a great energy. We all need that here. And so thank you everybody for coming. I really appreciate it. We're going to have another Tech Talk next Friday, even though it's the day after Thanksgiving. I hope y'all can make it to that. Find Eddy on LinkedIn. Check him out. He's an awesome guy. He's a good person to have on your team. And he'd be happy to connect with you. Anyway, I'm Forrest at Job Placement. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. If not, then everybody have a fantastic rest of your day and have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Eddy. That was a great presentation.
Thank you.
And I have to say, you're the best dressed speaker that we've had.
Thank you. Bye. First thing I noticed.
Yeah. Thank you for coming out. Is that Drizzy? Was that Drizzy?
Thank you. Great.
Who's Flipper? Where's Flipper to left?